Hey everybody, Jason Cooper here from Kickstarted with another Funded Friday conversation. Today I am joined by Linda Liukas, who is the creator of Hello Ruby, which is currently on Kickstarter, and I can to sort of explain what the project is, but in just a few weeks, they've raised over $300,000 and growing. Literally, the number just jumped up from 7,000 backers. So welcome, Linda. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jason, for having me.
Great. So just so that people know, why don't you give us the quick 10,000-foot overview of what Hello Ruby is?
Okay, so Hello Ruby is a children's book that teaches the foundations of programming through storytelling. So the protagonist is a little girl called Ruby who travels around the world and meets all of these magical creatures like the androids and the snow leopard who's beautiful and wants to be alone and so forth. And through the story and through the like additional workbook, the kids learn the very foundations of programming, and this is same for like 5 to 7-year-old kids.
And it's sort of, to me, like an incredible story because for people who don't know, your goal was only $10,000, and yet you've managed to eclipse that 300-fold. And I'm wondering, you know, how that happened. But before we get into that, maybe tell us why this project was so important to you. What made you come up with this idea, and how did you decide to put it on Kickstarter?
I think these both questions are actually pretty related, like why it matters and why it was successful in the end. So I think Hello Ruby was born already like three and a half years ago when I was teaching myself programming, and all of a sudden she was on the paper, and sort of every time I run into a problem trying to explain myself, like what is object-oriented programming, what is garbage collection, I would draw like a little picture and think like how Ruby's imagination would explain this thing. And then I said, like, it was I think 2009 when I already started making up these drawings, and at the time I was running like a non-profit that teaches young women programming all around the world, and it's called Rail Skills, and it still runs today. And it's a grassroots volunteer-led effort, and we use the little Ruby as like illustration for that project. And years went by, and people started telling me that, oh, you should make this into a book, and like this is so cute and useful and so forth. And I think it was somewhere last fall as I felt like, okay, now is the right time to make this into a real thing. And why the project was so successful was probably also because I had the community of initial people who are really excited about the project. So Railspace has been in over 160 cities now, I think. So I had spoken with a lot of parents and people who were excited about programming and like wanted to see this book happen. But then after that, I think like the initial funding goal was met in 3.5 hours, and after 24 hours we were over $100,000. And that I think is just like amazing first of all, but also still a little bit of a mystery to me. Like maybe there was a like huge demand or a market for this kind of material, and I just happened to be there.
Wow. So I have my own theories on why it was so successful, and maybe you can tell us, because there's a lot of people that will watch this that are interested in their campaigns. But what did you do on that first day specifically in terms of, you have a base of people that were already interested, but what did you do to activate them so quickly?
So one thing I did is I have been drawing these pictures for a while now at helloruby.com, and there's an email, like leave your email subscription button, and then I had a list of a few thousand people who had already left their emails, and I sent a really nice email that had like GIF animations and like helped me spread the word and like very clear calls of action and sort of the story of Ruby, and like helped me make my personal dream come true and make this book. And like that definitely helped on the first day. But then like after that it was just pretty much like responding to all of the tweets that came out and just like talking to the different press people who would like contact me and so forth. So I really did like very little outreach on Ruby. So, and still today I'm still actually doing very little in outreach.
That's amazing. These things tend to, in success, have a mind of their own. And really to take off, so that's not surprising, and it's a great project. Tell me, when you went into it, what were your expectations? What did you think was going to happen?
I really hope that we would get the 10,000, or I would get the 10,000 together, like muster it together by the end of the month. And honestly, I like after the first 24 hours, like people were asking, "Oh, stretch goals! We need to have stretch goals." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't think that I would need to think about this just yet." Like I think it's just amazing that so many people all around the world have said that like they want to back this up, and people from like Japan and Brazil and US and so forth, and the community around Kickstarter is really amazing. I've gotten so many like cool like emails from people like coming up with additional storylines and sending like questions for me to answer, like, "Oh, my little kid is asking this, could you explain this in like kid sensitive or kid understandable way," and stuff like that. And yeah, that was probably my expectation too, that the people would be amazing, and they truly are.
Well, that's fantastic. I wonder now that you've had this success. Again, you're over $300,000 from over 7,000 people, which is enormous. What are you doing? You still have 14 days to go as of taping right now, but what are you doing to prepare to deliver on that? Because obviously, you've now offered like an ebook and parent tools, all sorts of other things. Do you feel like you have to get going? How do you handle that?
It's a good question. I think one of the coolest things is that I'll be able to focus on making Ruby's World live like full time. So this was supposed to be something I was working on the evenings and so forth, but now I definitely like can focus on it full time and make it as good as possible. What else? Obviously, like the project blew out of proportion, so I need to rethink all of the printing and logistics and handling all of those things. And then I'm really looking forward to just like making the book real and working together with the backer community on like testing the different like workbook activities and stuff like that. So involving the people who like made this possible in the first place.
What are your plans for Ruby after the campaign? A lot of people, and after you've, I know it may be even hard to think about, but after you've completed the delivery, are you planning to make this into a series? Do you want it to continue, or is this a project?
Totally. So I think that this is only like a small glimpse of the whole Ruby's World, and now that I have all of this support and all of the sort of enthusiasm around it, I definitely want to show like the whole world, the whole world of Ruby. So I have like I think 3 or 4 books in my head already, and like iPad apps and art shows and all sorts of other things that like we'll be able to explore the way Ruby sees the world of technology even further.
That's
and translations have been something that people have been asking, and for the first Kickstarter campaign, it's definitely like it's not going to be possible to do hardcover translations, but like I understand that there's a global audience for this, and everyone wants to see it happen.
Well, will you translate it into Finnish? Is that one of the first languages?
I think it might be like Japanese, because Ruby as a programming language comes from Japan, and then also Spanish has been something that people have been wishing for a lot. So.
Okay, great. That's great. Sort of my last question for you is, I think anyone who has an opportunity, and I recommend that you do, because I think your video is fantastic. And I say that because I think that your enthusiasm, and then that you have a clear connection with you and the character in the book. Obviously, it comes of you when you're learning how to do this. And you're both red-headed people, and you're excited about learning. Tell us how that video came about and why that was such an effective tool to sharing your story.
Well, glad to hear. First of all, I think I've backed a lot of Kickstarter projects and followed a lot of Kickstarter projects, and I really studied a lot of project videos before making mine. I think I had a very clear vision of the world I want to be building, and sort of the message I want to show and share, and then I worked with 2 really amazing people on making the video happen. So Kimmo Ervola shot the video and was really good at like just making it look as professional and clean as it looks now, and then Mikko Mutanen, he like edited the video to seem whimsical and happy and so forth. But like tips for making the video, well, tell a story first of all. Everything that is like personable and relatable is super important and understandable. Like, why do I care about this thing? Why I'm the right person to be doing this? And let your like this has been my like priority #1 for the past, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, so like the world of technology, but then Ruby has been my like every single day something that I've been thinking about for the past 3 years. So definitely like letting that show that this is something you care about. And what else? Good lighting and good like acoustics. You can hear in the video that in one like section of the video that the acoustics are not that good, and that kind of it's a bummer. Yeah,
I
that's
did
been my
notice that,
first.
but overall it was very heartfelt, and your storytelling is great in it, and it was a really wonderful project. Well, thank you for joining us, Linda. This is great, and I wish you the best of luck with the rest of your campaign.
Awesome, thank you.
So that's it for today's Funded Friday conversation. Again, we were joined by Linda Liukas of Hello Ruby, which is, as of today, February 7th, is still on Kickstarter and has just ticked over the $300,000 goal, but there are plenty of opportunities to back the project and get your hands on what will be a wonderful ebook, I'm sure. So thank you very much, Linda. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.